Okay, let's see if this will work. Um, I wanted to show you what I've been working on, and it seems as though at like the end of every day, I'm like, I've worked all day long and I don't feel like I have anything to show for it. But here, well, as I zoom back out, this is the Nandor Haunty bed. Um, I've made a pillow piece. This is the main bedspread piece. And then this is the headboard and the footboard. And you can see here, I have been working on dropping in all of these flowers and putting these different kinds of 60s slash early 70s kinds of designs in. And I've been working on these for now a day and a half, and this is how much I've gotten done. I managed to get these things laid in, some of the flowers. I need to add some more elements on this side. And you can see I've created pieces of art that I can just, these flower pieces, I can just drop right in. The one thing I'm a little concerned about, and I'm hoping that, let's blow this up a little bit, is that you can see that next to, you can see how absolutely crisp this line is. And there's a slight fuzzing out on this. I went ahead and saved these at like 800 DPI. I wanted to make sure that they were, a high enough resolution. Ugh, and I'm seeing a mistake there. I'm going to have to correct that. I don't like that. You can see here, over here where it's a point, and then over here where it's not. I don't like that. And that's a point anyway. But you can see how some of these pieces are a little, I can just pick them up and move them around now. And I've opaqued the back so they're more like a sticker. Why are they still one color is because I would like to do the painting and things for these. So the thing that I'm with going with a more organic sort of design, there are similarities, but unlike some of the other designs, I can't just like copy it and flip it. So I'll keep some of the same elements, but then I need to move things around. So for this one, I keep going back and forth between, I have a large element here, I have these balanced out. I don't know if I like this with just two. I think it needs three. I've been kind of farting around with, I shouldn't say farting around with, adding in a third one in the back, which I think will look good. And then eliminating it from this part down here, because I think this is getting a little too confusing. There's too many elements in here, and I think I'm going to pull this one out. And you can see I'm trying to keep with already it's a very triangular designed format. But then, these two are too close in size, which means I think I need to reduce this one. This one may remain the same size. So if I go in here and just, let me see, grab that arrow, make it a little smaller. So there's a lot of points in which I'm just kind of, and this is a lot of design. I mean, this is how I was trained as a designer and an illustrator. You're stopping, you're looking, you're feeling around. Should this go here? Should that not go there? Or is there another design element that I need to create that will go in this area right here? Because I feel like there's something missing right there. Do I want to add more design elements here? Do I want to move these around a bit more? Do they need to be, when you're having your nephew's your nephew's uncle's cousin's brother do this in their basement, and they haven't been to design school, they're not thinking about these things. I, of course, am. So this is the main flower, the big flower. I call this the petunia, the stripy petunia that I'm using for this particular piece. And I still need to do the head and footboards for this. I just can't quite, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I'll tell you, it takes a long time to do. And then I try to show you. And then, you know, I have to stop and design an element. And then I have to drop it in. Then I have to look at things like this. If I like the size of this, but this right here is going to bug me half to death. So I need to close those gaps up. But then I get another one here. Should I do it that way? Do I want to make it large enough that it's coming off? I think this one needs to move up. And I think I need another one right there. So we're just going to make these incrementally smaller. Maybe something more along that line. Because like I said, I've already got a pretty strong composition in, and the way I was taught when you're designing things like this, it's in threes. Why aren't there 4 stripes on here? Because 1 in the middle, 2 on either side. It's always odd numbers. It needs to be odd numbers. If you look at the stripes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 stripe in the middle, 3 on either side. If I wanted to make it smaller, I would remove 2 of the stripes from the outside. There are things that I just, as a designer, that's just, I'm not sure. I can't pinpoint exactly where I learned to do it, but that's how I learned to do it. But hopefully I can get this a little bit more streamlined and add what I consider like some floating spot illustrations, in which perhaps I'm taking some of these elements and these little flower elements. So then I can go in and, okay, dressing table short legs, because this is the next piece I'd like to add all of these bits into, and that is the dressing table. If I can get that to come up. So that's the back of the dressing table. This is the front of the dressing table, front drawer. These are the side pieces, and then these are the 2 that go on either side. So for this sort of thing, I would add some things around the bottom of the mirror, maybe something up here on the top, making it off-center, like I kind of did with the bed in some instances. Add in some elements here, some more floating sorts of things. And I don't think I'll add anything to the back. So that's what I'm working on right now. And it's just a lot of trying to figure out where little things are going to go. I mean, do I want to move it further up into the flower? Maybe. I don't know. But then a lot of this is because I'm really lazy. I really hate having to make completely new elements. I'll make a couple of them and then I'll come in and do a copy paste and then start adding them in and nestling them all together where I want them to go, and playing around with sizes. And you can see when I enlarge that, the line became, in my mind, it changed. So I'm going to probably beef that up and have it break the plane here. And then what that means is if I break the plane here, I'm going to need to do something here with these because I don't want them to show through. Now, does that mean create another piece and cover it up? Or, I kid you not, going into this, which is the size of probably a ballpoint pen head, and making sure, okay, wait a minute, I don't want any, no, I want fill. I don't want this. I don't want it. And filling that in. And then there's these elements here, which I had showed you in another video, in which I come through one at a time. I think these are 200. And nope, not that. I don't want that stinky. Come here, you. Every time you see like little blue lights flashing, that's just where the path is. And I go in and I add in these lines to make it seem a bit more organic. And there's a lot of fidgeting and fussing and copy pasting because I don't want to keep going back to 200 over and over again. I think 200's right. Yeah, 200 looks about right. And I'm going to get rid of this one in the middle because I don't need to have something there. I can just make it strictly out of the tiny little curved lines. Oh, come on, you. Come here. There you go. Good girl. And a lot of going back and forth and making sure it's where I want it. Let's see. Let's do this one. It's not terribly exciting work, and I got to admit, it is in my mind kind of mind-numbing chug-a-lug kind of work that I don't particularly enjoy. It reminds me very much of some of my earliest jobs as a graphic designer, in which I was presented with large bodies of text, in which, I don't want that, in which I was told to go find the rivers and collect them or correct them. And it's like, oh God, it's the stuff it's the mind-numbing work. And then you forget, one chapter and yeah, you're in trouble. Take it from me. So for this one instead, I'm just gonna, come back here. I'm just gonna do, oh, not that, it's 200. I'm just gonna come in here and do 2 lines and curve them. So I'm guessing that everyone right now is like falling asleep. It's like, so this is how you spend your day. This what you do. No, I sent a bunch of emails this morning too. And did some other artsy stuff. Commiserating with a friend and reading the news and scaring myself half to death. So, this is what has to be done if I want these designs to look the way I want them to look. And discussing, I was telling my husband about it today and saying, I could, very easily, this is very much my style, I could sit down and draw these and do it way quicker. But the problem with that is this is the push and pull, the bane and the, of this sort of thing, is that I could do that, but it's so much easier here to copy paste and move things around the way that I want them to be. I know for sure I can do this myself with, the electricity goes out. I can do it myself on pencil and paper. It's just for what I'm doing right now, this is proving to be an easier option. I'm going to take that down to 180. Because sometimes lines get persnickety. And you can see the little bulbous bit on either side, which you won't see as much. Oh, I took it up to 218. 180. There we go. Sometimes, I do have to just kind of put it down and walk away. But I do the same thing with pencil and paper too. And trying to find where do I want it to lie? How much of that curve do I want in there? Do I want to move this around a bit? I must admit, I'm getting much better with curves. Curves do not scare me as much as they did before. So, you know, I add in all of that. So this is one of the reasons why some of this is taking a little longer, but I really think it's going to look, I mean, I need to take some of those line weights down. You can see how much heavier this one is. It's the line weights in here are wrong. I had to go in here. So for these, like that line weight's probably a 2 or 3. Oh, it's a 330. I'm going to take that down. And take that one down too. Build that back up to a 200. Just so it won't be quite as heavy. And then there are other ways of lightening things up, which are, if I have too many areas like this, I'll start grabbing these little pearls and dropping them in to help lighten things up. This piece right here with the Saint Johann, or the Johann's cross, I'm just going to yank that out of there for a second. It needs to be, it's way too big. I mean, way too thick. So I'm just going to, not group it, ungroup, because I think I had this thing like grouped like several times. And I should just be working with layers, but right now I'm just too impatient to work with layers. There we go. And then if I come in here, select all up, this is going to give me percentages again. I don't want that. I'm going to have to go in and do them one at a time. This is a 2. I'm going to have to take it down. So that means all of the lines in here are going to have to be changed. So yeah. If I were doing this with pen and paper, I just have to say, well, I guess I'm going to have to either learn how to live with it, or I'm going to have to start again. So that's I guess the one nice thing about working in the computer, is that I can say, oh, my line width is way too thick. So I can come in here and just go, okay, I'm going to change it all. And you can see here, I know what I'm selecting by the little line that's coming up. Okay, let's take that down. It starts to look something completely different. And then I've got to go through and zhuzh all this back together so it all fits nicely. And that's not going to take much. Come here. I just need to make some things smaller, move some things around. So that's what I'm working on, and that's one of the reasons why this all seems to just be taking so long. Oh, sorry, I've got something in my eye. Anyway, hopefully this new setup with everything on the right instead of the left is going to help out. It seems to be better for me working on computer without having to like mess stuff up and it look weird for you. So, thank you, patrons. And I'm going to continue working, and I will see you in, oops, not there. Well, fine, be that way. I think we've got, yeah, that's what we've got. I hate it when that happens. I will see you in the next video.